competition, or showcase, sorry, my apologies, held by our PHS Slam Club. I'm Ms. Hernandez.
I'm Mr. Finn. And tonight, this is the first annual, we intended to make this annual, the first annual Slam Club Showcase. So please, big thank you to everyone that came out tonight and supporting us today, supporting these young poets, supporting the program, supporting the school. We want to thank you for that. So can we have a quick round of applause for everybody? Thank you. Appreciate that.
And at this moment, we would like to introduce our host for the evening, who is also a Slam Club member and an amazing poet himself. Give it up for Gerardo!
Thank you. Okay, so it's pretty simple. If you guys hear something you like, you go, let me hear your And if you hear something you can relate to, you snap. Yeah, okay. So in order to start the show, you gotta introduce the poets. So up first, we got Juanillo to the mic. On deck, we got Jay. So please welcome Juanillo to the mic. Loud, let me hear it. There you are.
We are the poets. We write with our hearts, we speak with our voice. The experiences of our minds make us rise amongst the others. We make mistakes. We speak what no one else will. Our homes aren't there. The irony of people saying we're mistakes. The music beats in our heads. We isolate ourselves and listen to it. We are the poets. The people who have scars. The people who escape death. The stereotypes of the world. We are the poets. The storms that ravage. The earthquakes that destroy. The tsunami that flows freely. We are the poets. We speak of liberation. We speak of democracy. We speak of emotions. We speak of our conflicts. We are the poets. We escape into our poems. We live in the words. We are empowered in the lines. We are the poets. We love. We hate. We lie. We are original. We are the poets. Our poems are therapy. We vent to ourselves. We are victims to ourselves. We don't want help. We don't want to hear people say you're broken. We knew our lives were broken. We knew we were different. We fight against that. We are the poets. Can you hear our sarcasm? Can you see the scars? Can you see the demons? Our eyes tell stories. Our eyes never lie. We are the poets. We have rights just like you. We have those to balance our lives. We speak our own languages. We try to release our opinions. We try to lift our shoulders. The authenticity of our words, we break the human cord. We race to the finish line and alienate ourselves from society. We are the poets. We are broken. We are evolved. We are conquerors. We are conflicts. We are wind. The hinges in our minds came loose. We are the poets. Enjoy the show.
Yes, we are the poets. Let's give another round of applause to Juanillo and the others. Alright, up to the mic we have Jay. Let's give her a round of applause. On deck we have Kevin. Louder. Hyper up. Yes, there we are. There's that energy.
Hello. I'm actually the vice president of Slam Club, so thank you for actually supporting us. But we're here as a club, and this is my piece, and it just turned a year, so yeah. I am the youngest daughter of a multicultural family, the first generation of a new population, the face of a new race, a face of success and love to give. However, I am a generation of change, the beholder of something new, spontaneous, grand. Something that I can't describe and can't talk about. It has a trace to it, a spark, a map, where everything can be located. The eyes of ombre that gave me colors only that I can see. Fingertips that ran through my hair, letting me know that I was theirs and I was never going to be abandoned. The sweet words that were said to me. I will not hurt you, but protect you. I will not punish you, I will teach you. I will not embarrass you, I will amuse you. You are my little girl, loved by all. You were made of something kind. Your heart was, sorry. Your heart on your sleeve, those made of gold, you speak the words and the world goes silent. When you look into someone's eyes, the skies go bright and God made you for me. I am here to protect you from things that try to hurt you. I am here to guide you to paradise. I am here to teach and for you to speak poetry, to speak a language where only a mind is reopened and sees from your point of view, a view that no one has ever seen. And you, my youngest princess, I love you for all of you, no matter what anyone says. Anyone is blessed to teach, speak, listen, learn, and to have any relations with you, because you are you. You have one thing that this world needs, a mind that is always open, a mouth that speaks vibrant, loving, powerful words that is needed, a love that is richer and sweeter when given to anyone that has an impact on you. You love like you are fighting for something or someone priceless. You are a better creation of me, for I am gone.
Another round of applause for Dave. Up to the mic we have Kevin. On deck we have Armand. Welcome, Kevin. Where's the energy? Come on. More energy, energetic.
My poem is called Success. I was a dreamer kid, a dreamer with plans, ideas and imagination that were decreased to a robot programmed to work and work. I have a father, a mother like most of them. The only difference was they planned for me. I transformed my ideas in words, but I was the only one proud of it. My father showed up and said, "What's in there? That's not worth it. You can't feed your family with us here. Do what I tell you and don't ask. Your job is to obey your father and that's it. How's that worth it?" Suppressing my feelings, thoughts, ideas and opinions, they decrease me with their ego that is even bigger than their love for me. They have killed my imagination. They have buried my thoughts, and especially they have suppressed the identity that made me who I am. They has put me in a big hole, and the words make it deeper even more. But it's a problem that nobody can know because I smile and pretend to be no story like, oh, my ideas and my mind are about to explode. They say I'm here, I want to be visible and more. I storm my thoughts are embedded in my head. They want to go out and wish to be heard. My words are worthy and placed in my poem. When I write about them, I feel so alone. And in my mind, the anger is not there anymore. Everything in my life is not perfect, I know. Every word in my poem is not different, I know. Every poem I write is weird, porque hablo español, I know. But also I know, when I write this, I know where I belong.
Another round of applause for Kevin. Okay. Up to the mic we have Armand. On deck we have Isabella. Where's the energy? Where's the energy? Come on. There we are.
Emotions are a dangerous force. They destroy our lives without remorse. They're hard to get around, something not many people have found. We're still on the ground where our heart is miles above us. We don't know the feelings such as lust, and we definitely don't know trust. But we have the power to bust through walls. We have the power to get up after we fall. Our hearts go through it all. We don't notice it, but some people do. We all have complex emotions. We hold them back like a dam. But these emotions will come over us like oceans, from broken hearts to broken homes, to our happiest ice cream cones, like the first time we got our first phone. We have good and bad moments. We have dangerous feelings, some we have no meaning to. We're just a shrew, and the ones that know how they feel are very few. But if only others knew, because life is a mix of birds that need to know about the ones that flew. How to fly and not be afraid to die. I didn't choose to feel these emotions. That's how life goes. Everyone knows how it feels to have these emotions, but no one can explain them. Every time I get hurt, it's like a slot machine. I can't stop spinning. Either I've lost or I'm winning. At the end, there is a silver lining where there will be no whining. Well, not for me. I can't stop what other people feel. I can't tell them not to kneel at the feet of sadness. I can't tell them not to plunge into madness, begging for mercy that will never come. fighting a battle that will never be won, the pressure on our shoulders weighing in at a ton. I cry not for fun, not that I enjoy it. I try again and again but run, but it's like there's a chain on my leg, nothing to do to get it off, walking like a sloth with no energy, chained down by my fury, using a needle trying to mend myself, trying my hardest not to condemn myself, but I can't be put back together. The shattered pieces of my heart scattered across the room I call my body. Pieces of my head scattered everywhere like a tornado had gone through a Walmart. I can't be put back together. Never.
Another round of applause for Juan. Okay, up to the mic we have Isabella, and on deck we have Jose. Warm welcome, energetic, come on. There we go.
Bottomless, 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 a desolate despair. I need a fresh breath of air. Could I ever compare the epitome of beauty, the ideals of a girl, her looks, her actions, all to be hated? Too skinny, too fat, too happy, too sad, a desolate despair. I will never compare. I will never want to compare, for the ideals of a girl is perfection, and I am far from it. I guess I took a different direction, my choice, the choice that will change society's demeaning ways, the choice I chose.
Another round of applause. Up to the mic we have Jose, on deck we have Dante.
The name of my poem is called Alone. Everybody has been alone at one point in their life. My time is now. I'm not alone, not physically alone. I have you all here. Now I am just emotionally alone. I lost my mother, father, and my siblings all together. They're not dead, but the distance between us makes me feel as if they are. So now I am alone. I had this girl who made me feel whole, but I left because she threatened my solitude. She has her head held high because she learned to live with the demons of being alone. I have my desire to be with people who care. Me and my solitude are standing here to tell you our story of being alone.
Another round of applause for Jose. When I say slam, you say close. Slam, slam. All right, up to the mic we have Dante. On deck we have Maria Elena. Oh, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. There we are, there we are.
Okay, so the poem is called Senseless Violence. How do we mend the hearts of those who have been badly broken? For those for losing a loved one that has fallen from senseless violence. How to silence the tears for which they had once shed in fear, that no more shall the sun rise and shine its beautiful light through the terrible darkness, having them to wonder why did they have to lose their lives over fucking nonsense. Why do we have to deal with the bullshit? And does God really care? With their world struck in a daze, leaving them without any signs of even God being there. As they're starting to drown in a deep depression and even in a deeper sorrow, they start to lose all hope for an even brighter tomorrow. So now we have a family here, shattered dreams and broken promises, no more rising through the darkness simply due to the senseless violence.
Another round of applause for Dante. We have Maria Elena. On deck we have Miss Karina Valencia. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. I want that energy.
Hi everyone, I'm the treasurer of slam poetry, and my poem is called A Diamond. Sometimes I feel like the world is completely against me, that things keep happening to me because I'm like a magnet. My mom died my freshman year and I damn near lost my dad. I used to feel like nobody cared. I used to ask God, why I was being punished because everything kept coming back to back. Another hit, 2 steps backward and then forward. I didn't see the light. I didn't see my potential. I didn't see that all this pressure would mold me from a piece of coal into a diamond. I didn't see that these trials would make me stronger and ready for another round. That I could be like a boxer and keep fighting my battles until I won. Even with my scars, the one that caught me, the ones that made me into the diamond in the rough. How many people can say that they're following their dreams with their heads held high? Now I can look at the people who doubted me and laugh, because their predictions were wrong. I am a captain, an ambassador, 4 years in band, a treasurer, been on multiple teams, straight A's and B's, and I got to study at Berkeley and I got into a UC? Like damn! So to all the people who hurt me, who doubted me, don't you look foolish. The ones who brought me down, man, I'm soaring past you and I'm not looking back. I have no idea where life will take me, or if life will get in my way. Yeah, I'm scared, but man, I have to look on the bright side, because what else do I got? It doesn't do anything for me, nothing for all to feel sorry for myself. So I have to keep trying to make my life mine. So I have to have the life that I imagine, so that when I go, I can say that I lived, that I can give it my all. Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm a diamond and nothing can break me. I am a diamond, shining bright, strong, determined, and ready. I break boundaries and let nothing bring me down. This diamond will never stop shining, nor would this diamond fall.
Up to the mic we have Ms. Karina Valencia, and on deck we have Joshua.
Hi, thank you. I'm Miss Karina Valencia. I teach ELD4 and Senior English, and I just want to thank Mr. Fed and Ms. Hernandez for inviting me to share my piece with you all. And thank you all for being here and supporting Slam Club. It's really cool. My name is Karina. It wasn't always. At Highlands Elementary, Mr. Renabar and Ms. Roth taught me how to read, but they never read my name right. And I didn't think it was a problem, I got used to it. I'm Karina at school, I'm Karina at the dentist, I'm Karina to my best friends. It's just who I am. Except I'm not. Because en el catecismo cada sábado en la mañanita me dicen Karina. Con mi nani, mi tati y los demás de mi familia, soy Cari. En los partidos de fútbol de mi hermana me dicen Karina. Everywhere else though, I'm Karina. Fast forward and Karina graduates from Pittsburgh High School. I'm the first in my family to go to college, and I guess it's time to figure out who I am. I'm sitting with 50 strangers at the first floor meeting for my residence hall at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Go Banana Slugs. My resident assistant, Shiku Mukire, asks what my name is. I say, Karina. Is that what your family calls you? No, they call me Karina. They call me Kari, which is short for Karina. Oh, so can I call you Kari? I don't really know you, so I don't really feel okay with you calling me Kari. That name's special. That's what my family calls me. Not to be mean or anything, but I don't even know you. But I guess you can call me Karina. That's what other people call me. Back home if they're not family. Karina's cool too. Shiku helped me realize that I could change the way people say my name. I start to introduce myself as Karina. People say, oh, so Karina. I'm like, no, it's Karina. Karina. And as long as you don't say Karina, I'm happy. I can teach you how to say my name. Because my mom did not let me invade her body for 9 months for people to say Karina. My dad didn't spend his weekends fixing other people's cars for people to say Karina. He did, however, spend 9 months convincing my mom to name me Karina. My name's Karina, not Karina. It's Karina, and it's always been Karina. Thank you.
Up to the mic we have Josh. On deck we have Armand and Gabriel. With energy, raise it up.
A spider ate its legs. A snake bit its own tail. And a crab, well, it's pretty obvious what happens, isn't it? You know, I wonder, what else should I listen to? Who should I listen to? Do people really tell the truth? Is it really that easy for someone to be straight up? Or am I just another player slowly being brainwashed for someone else's amusement? But maybe it's just an illusion. Maybe it's just a hoax. But in this world, anything is true if you say yes, with the exception of feelings, which are in reality not real. That is what the snakes tell me. They seem nice. I mean, they probably aren't, but I shouldn't assume because it might make an ass out of me and them. So now I'm not even sure if this is who I want to be anymore. Do I really have to meet those people's standards? I guess the truth is that I can never really trust myself because I always end up eating the apples snakes give to me. I've been holding everything in for so long now. I need to let it out before it fractures me. Why does it hurt so badly? I need that attention, but it's consuming me. So I'll just stop and learn how to be careful. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Josh. Up to the mic we have Armand and Gabriel. Where's the energy? Where's the energy? Tear it down, tear it down.
Together we are Serán Corazón. Both of us had our heart broken by women most beautiful. Now with our hearts full of sorrow, we give you this poem. You could be the top of the class but still be broken up with. You could still join a game but be thrown by a shattered heart. A break caused by a few simple words. Words that I've heard many times in my life. Those words have caused some to hang from trees or take lives from others due to split souls. After all we gave for them, after all we did for them, the time, the things we sacrificed for them, and they go cheat and lie and hurt us.
We're not the only ones that have gone through this. I've done this dance so many times that I can see her movement in the corner of my eye before she takes a single step. We start to talk, then I walk her home from school, we start to hang out. Before I can blink, she's with someone else. I feel that I've been broken into pieces and I'm scrambling to find for the next person my mind decides is possibly a good person. I have felt pain I can never imagine from a person I never thought I would meet. We are Serán Corazón.
I have found escape in poetry, through rhymes and rhythm. I found good times in friendship, but I still think we were knit together like a wool blanket covering each other up during a cold night, that we might have something. But I'm frightened to think that the so-called next soulmate is coming along to fracture my heart, as the one before.
I wish we were still together, and I'm still wondering if she still loves me. Things that happened between us I sometimes regret, but it's time I try finding someone new and seeking my own path. The past is the past, and there's nothing I could do to reverse time. And even if I could, I don't think I would go back to you and fix our relationship, because that ship has sailed and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. With one swift motion of a knife, you sliced my wrist. We stand together with our fists raised for the ones with broken hearts.
When I say slam, you say club slam? Slam? Alrighty, thank you. Up to the mic we have Christy. On deck we have Mr. Finn. Where's the energy? Energetic. I want to see y'all with some motivation. Christy!
My life has been one big emotional roller coaster that I can't get off of, and I'm not sure I want to. 1 minute, I'm going up, having a great time. Then, I'm panicking on the way down. But when the loop comes, that's when it gets crazy. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but aren't we all at one point? I was told my dad got on a different ride before I was born. And like a child in the dark, I was scared. Scared knowing I don't have a man to go beat the ass of the guy that hurt me. Scared not having my own father walk me down the aisle at my wedding. But I refused to let my father's absence prevent me from achieving happiness. Don't get off this crazy roller coaster called life just because you are scared of what will happen.
Mr. Finn, on deck, we have Oliver. Energetic, let's go, Mr. Finn! Mr. Finn! Mr. Finn!
Hey guys. This poem doesn't have a title. Here we go. Device in hand. The edges machine smooth, press play. Press your cheek the other way like always, so you might forget whose names hinge on hashtags, the ones cold beyond ticker tape and safely floating in your living room, leaking, losing letters in the static because now the screens bear fruit each second of each day. Google search to Google search, flashes to flashes, dust to dead, but he is not your son. Nor anyone you knew with dreams and 4 heart valves. He was not your son, just the 9 p.m. newspeak hum of a busty woman turning tails in the empty space. Those bullet points, fact sheets shot through the trigger of your mouse click or iPhone flick, or statistics claiming there is no fault nor stick of injustice on the side of power, the lies of power. Device in hand, device Uncle Sam, device in hand, device white man, device Uncle Sam, device I am standing between power and titillation, between power and indoctrination, between power and a well-trained nation, emancipation, proclamation, a commiseration, all sensation. Your brown brothers? No relation. We freedom now? Nah, don't fit the equation. This game been yours due so the education blows the budget. Information injurious to the money pit, plus the dewy eyes of your white child couldn't bear to know the wicked, the slick and crimson hands of white men bearing whips, white skin and the predisposition to habit. America is careful not to offend you, not to upend you, to contend the status quo, but remember, dead bodies are sensations, soothsayers to the screen, to the safe and drowning, vanilla wafer crowning dialect of men with micro megaphones blaring into homes, which vial to load, which vein to stick so the venom works best. Be careful not to forget we prefer our humans, not as souls, but as sound waves, as gigabytes, not bytes. Be careful to keep having, to keep jabbing our credit cards at the things we wish to own, into things you still wish you owned. Never mind the bones, the centuries of shackles and spoon-fed songs of women read and men sped to the heaviest gavel, who escaped the transaction but still pay with lives every second of every day, with fear, with a young mind which can't see a way out because nobody else can either. It's time we recognize that the ancestors of our armchair architects are in your finger every day, pressing play, because these human beings are make-believe, because you, because me, they are supposed to be computer screens reporting all according to plan. Device in hand, device I am. Those edges machine smooth, like the bullets that will never tear down the door of our breastbones. Device white man, device Uncle Sam, device I am. Go ahead, do nothing but press play.
Another round of applause for Mr. Finn. Up to the mic we have Oliver, on deck we have Tiani. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. Let's give a warm welcome.
Great Lake. There's a great lake in the center of the land. Lake, lagoon, pond. From the Great Lake stems many rivers and streams, so many rivulets of liquid traveling the land. Lake to lake, lagoon to lagoon, pond to pond. All of it is meaningless because it leads to nowhere, all except one, leading from the Great Lake to the even greater sea. Even that is a hopelessly lost cause. The river betwixt lake and sea is dammed by a series of rocks preventing the flow of water. Is that it? How am I to know? How am I to guess? The rage of the powerful sea pent up on one side of the dam, nowhere near matched by the power of the lake on the opposing side. The forces of the water gently erode the rocks at both sides. The tame, controlled, tiny power of the lake cannot hope to compete with the sea. No matter how great the lake's power, the greater sea is wild, uncontrollable, and exponentially more powerful. One day the dam will burst. What will occur when it does? Will the sea overtake the lake, crush its very being, leave it broken beyond repair? The poor lake will only make more rivers leading to nowhere. Will the lake make a futile effort to destroy the sea's current, only to be disappointed if it does? Or perhaps they will both clash of their own volition in a desperate attempt to not go dry. We can only hope our lake won't need to make any more redundant rivers, and that the powerful sea will allow the river into its current. Hope that the sea, lakes, and rivers won't collide anymore, to temporarily coexist, hopefully forever. That is our decision, however, as the children of water.
Up to the mic, we have Tiani. On deck, we have Gabriel. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. Tiani, Tiani, Tiani. Yup, the crowd's cheering for you, girl. Let's go.
When you look at me, what do you see? A thug, a kid, or just another target piece? As a kid, I always dreamed what it'll be like to be famous, to be an Afro-Latino woman in the world to know my name, hearing the crowd roar, but now I fear hashtags like say her name. I always wanted my mom to see my face across the TV screen, but I fear now it'll be for all the wrong reasons. I want to write about love, but I've got heat exhaustion from the heat-packing police patrolling my street, rapping on my car window like I'm headed to the bando. Their fingers like guns, I'm just waiting for the trigger. Tell me where to run when even good cops call me nigger. Go figure. In a post-racial society, I'm still running race like numbers. The fish is too high for me. I can't perceive pink flowers on this lynching tree. I can't sleep on the 4th of July. Not when fireworks sound like cracked whips and sparklers glisten like blood under a street lamp after a public flogging. My life has been filled with gunshots from the people who are meant to protect me. Ever since I was 14, I've been writing eulogies for myself, practicing the way that I say goodbye to my loved ones just in case I don't make it to the next day, because as a colored woman, I have a higher probability of getting shot because of the pigment of my skin by a man who was just doing his job than I do of graduating high school, destined to be laid to rest in a tomb that was assigned to me as soon as I left the womb, that I will be rising from 3 days after. Black and brown children die on blackboard streets. They become chalk outlines and are erased. We're lost in the monotony, caught in the cacophonies, going hungry feeding these monopolies. I can't even speak out properly. I might lose all of my properties, even my breath or my bones, or 20 cops on top of me. Reaching my hands up and out at all angles, praying that you don't shoot. Don't you know the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, the darker the skin, the tighter the noose? Since when did being a minority become synonymous to being guilty? Your hunger comes from the uniform that sits on your body with a badge that protects you from the lives you've slaughtered. Claiming your plea to be self-defense, but where is the defense when you mistake surrender as a chance for you to use a human body as your own personal gun range? You beat our faces till our own families can't even recognize us anymore. Shoot us up till we have so many names to yell that we lose our voices. Call us derogatory names like we deserve this. Beat our brown faces until we're blue and gray till we can't even garner our breath. Don't shoot, no, don't move, don't breathe, don't even blink. Put those hands behind your back and I want you to lock it. Lay down, no, face down, no, face the ground. What's that in your pocket? Bang, pow. Why didn't they just block it? I swear they had a gun, so why else would they run?
Tiani, Tiani, Tiani. Another round of applause. Let's keep this momentum going. Up to the mic, we have Gabriel. On deck, we have Emilio. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. This is how we do it in the Pittsburgh Pirates land.
I am identified by my brown skin and stereotyped as a rapist and a criminal. The biggest thug I know is hidden behind the American flag in the office acting out like a fucking animal. He's saying a nation without a wall is not a nation. That's on the white side is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And the brown side is the lies and corruption and hate. Mi raza. My people are afraid because we are the white side of the wall that hates. How can I be a threat to this country when I stood up daily to recite the Pledge of Allegiance like it was part of my religion? I grew up knowing that this place we lived in was something worth believing in. The land of the free and home of the brave also meant the land of the opportunities. No one told me that didn't apply. All the brown people in my community, mi gente, trabajadores, luchadores y triunfadores, taken as advantage as a modern day slave. They tell us we need to earn our spot as an American, but how much more do we need to give when we've already given every ounce within? I can't give up my color of my skin. I will never give up my tongue because Spanish is a curse. I refuse to give up my raíz. ¿Por qué me la pide el Trump? I am cultivated by the Mexican parents and raised by an American country. Viva la raza y viva Mexico!
Another round of applause. Up to the mic we have Amelia, on deck we have AJ. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up.
Hello. So this poem is called Normal. No one knows, no one understands. This label I carry is too large to fit in my hand. It has to be wrapped around me multiple times, even children know it's there. The constant questions of what's wrong with you, the constant statement of the neurologist will see you now, the consistency of upping medications, trying to get things to work, trying to make me normal. The overclusters of electrons and neurons, abysmal, petite mal, grandma, all these different words, scary and heart-racing, heartbreaking, breathtaking, lost in every way, scatterbrained every day, losing your sentence halfway, stuck in this daze that sadly never goes away. You feel so crazed. You become this burden to yourself and to everyone else, wishing they understood that you can't be normal. But if you were, you wouldn't be you. The freak who can't finish her sentence, the weirdo who falls and shakes, the girl who disappears at random, the one who's just trying to make it through the next day, the lady who blacks out and can't find her way. This is what I go through every day. Consistently behind, losing my mind, saying I'm fine, acting like it's not a lie. Fearing embarrassment, hating arrogance, dealing with speech impediments, abysmal petite mal grandma. Words I hear every day, but never hearing normal. My life with epilepsy. Making me stronger, fighting longer, lost in a sea of regulars and irregulars. I'm the math equation no one can solve. I'm the word in English that has no translation. I'm the fighter who has no weapon but dodges every bullet. The fish who lost its scales. The hooper who won't shoot. The football player who won't tackle. The effect of no cause. The problem with no solution. I am epilepsy. Abysmal, petite mal, grandma. You are normal.
Another round of applause. Up to the mic we have AJ, on deck we have Dominic. That energy, keep it flowing.
That's my flag. More than just a bottle of water. Fiji. From the streets of Pittsburgh to the beaches of Fiji. More than a bottle of water. The spring of educators, doctors, bootleggers, and ice cream men. Yeah, my grandpa sold ice cream out of a cart with wheels and a bell. The life of brown culture. Risen from dignity, raising from respect, raising from support. I'm from the flavors of India, but the soul, the heart, the feeling given to me from Fiji. I'm from an island where outsiders have a language unwritten. The work, blood, sweat, and tears to be me. The tipping and tapping to give me rhythm. Or the air-blowed pianos giving me melody to speak the tones people haven't heard before. I'm from the family tree of Pratap, more than just a bottle of water, or an all-star rugby team, or some extra enthusiastic VP. I am me. Hey.
Up to the mic we have Dominic, on deck we have Ms. Hernandez. Keep that energy moving, keep that energy up.
My poem is called Alphabet. Alphabet. I'm a single lowercase letter in the alphabet. And I'm so sick and tired of it. Being in the shadow of the uppercase letters in this alphabet. They're always in the front of the sentence, while those poor lowercases sit in the back of the sentence like we have no faces. Those uppercases always in a different font, not knowing how we feel. They are the orange, and we are the pill. Why can't I be capitalized too? I have a letter in the alphabet just like you. and I refuse to be at the end of the sentence any longer. Period. There needs to be equality in this alphabet, and I'm serious. And what's with alphabetical order? Is this some kind of invisible order separating who's important and who is not? Showing that they wouldn't care if a letter like me was shot? Why should one letter be before all others at all times and just expect all the letters behind it to be like mine? This is the alphabet we live in. Our alphabet is a prison. Thank you. I have another poem too. This poem is called I Am Not a Poet. I am not a poet. I am just a man with a voice, who is not afraid to make noise if it means that I will be heard. Because I believe the best means of empowerment is through spoken word. Though my words won't mean a thing to you if my speech was slurred, or if my vision of change was blurred, or if my seed of contribution was covered in dirt, and you lead me to believe in an institution of hurt as you kick me to the curb, and disregard all that I have to say in this world as a young man, because all I wanted to say was just a word. Change. Change the way society looks at someone and judges them based off their appearances and life choices. Change the way society makes people believe they are not good enough, leading them to become a new person with new pain. Change the way the streets make people believe they are not good enough, leading them to become a dead body found in the rain. Change the way schools make students feel unimportant, leading them to lose a gallon of blood down the drain. Do you see what I mean? Change is needed, and it is needed now.
Another round of applause for Dominic. Alrighty, up to the mic we have Ms. Hernandez. On deck we have Clinton. Come on, Ms. Hernandez. Hype it up, hype it up, hype it up. Ms. Hernandez.
Ay, niña fresa, niña consentida. Saying it loud and proud how, like, you're an American, and OMG, your parents are Mexican, but making it known, they're legit legal. And every fiber in me is fighting to stay still because people like you who claim to be neutral are the reason that people like me are working hard towards a future where people feel proud of not only who they are, but recognize their ancestors brought them this far. Did you know my great-grandfather was one of the braceros who began contributing to a society of white-collared güeros? And when his job was done, they pushed him out like he was nothing, planting a seed of fear and hatred that will last generations, and it would last until his great-granddaughter ran out of patience. And maybe it was fate that I was born in this time, past the moment where Pachucas were treated like swine, past the time when Dolores Huerta did all of the work, but the face of a man was given all of the purse. Past the time when MLK gave his speech, now our dreamers have to fight on a daily basis for their class seat. Past the moment where the Brown Berets and Black Panthers fought in solidarity to bring about awareness and show people clarity. We need to stand together to help make things better, but your ignorance and wealth have gotten in the way. How do you think you got to where you're at today? You should be proud, yes, I agree. But the things you're saying are, quite frankly, frustrating. Because the reason you're where you're standing is because people fought for your rights. And if it wasn't for our ancestors, the only color standing here would be white. You followed an agenda that's been fed to you by racists who've told you since day one the only way to make it is to be an assimilationist. You've lost your cultura and been forced into an identity to appeal to the people who look at us like crooks, who knocked the beauty from our people and knocked us out of the books. Did you know you are descendant of the Aztec goddesses? You were made to be more than just static. You're a rose risen from the concrete. I'm not being dramatic. Do you even realize the walls that were built to keep you in? Do you realize how hard people work to get you that space you're standing in? Latina, Mexicana, Chicana, Chingona. Be proud of where you come come from, know your whole story before you go giving society the glory. You're much more than a statistic, you're powerful too. Know the world is changing. But mija, that change starts with you.
Up to the mic we have Quentin. Yeah, raise it up, raise it up.
My poem is called Silent Cries. My nephew, he's the son of my oldest brother. My nephew is 4 years old and still speaking gibberish, and he sounds like a little minion. Most of the time I don't understand it, but whenever he wants something, he'll grab your hand and drag you. When he climbs up my back, he punches the back of my head, yelling, "Yeah!" and laughing. He has an older sister which hugs him and tells him she loves him. So he runs to her and wraps his tiny little arms around her and says, "I love you." I love everything about my nephew, except when he cries. Now everyone knows that babies mostly cry when they're really young, and my nephew used to be like that, but one day he did something wrong, he got yelled at, and he ran up to me with his hands over his eyes, not making a sound. I tried to ask him what's wrong, and he didn't answer. I tried to take his hands off his eyes, and he fought back trying to keep them on his eyes. During this, I'm questioning in my head, what is he doing? But I couldn't tell because he wasn't making a sound. I tell my nephew, it's gonna be okay. As I slowly take his hands off his eyes, tears pour down his skin, dropping to the floor. I look at his eyes and I see a wave in space, telling me that he felt true sadness, and I didn't think he would learn that so early on. My brother taught him that men can't cry because he'd be too much of a bitch if he did. My nephew now has the mindset that if a man cries, you're not a true man. My brother had taught him to be ashamed of tears, but it's okay to cry. You should be able to express your feelings, because when you bubble up your feelings, you become a walking time bomb, ready to pop and let out a tsunami. It destroys you mentally and physically. And I don't want to see my nephew in a hospital for trying to commit suicide because he takes his own life. And I would too, because knowing that he kept to himself and never talked to me would eat me and tear me apart, splitting my organs and skin. And eventually I would cut myself and take my own life because I can't protect another life if I already failed once. I wish I could be there for him all the time, but I rarely see him. Last time I saw him, he ran up to me hugging me, and as I looked at him, he told me, "You are not a failure, Uncle." And to this day, that's one reason why I stay alive.
Alright guys, give it up one more time for Quentin! Our next poet cannot come out here and introduce himself, so I want you guys to give a round of applause for Gerardo!
Our clothing doesn't define our history, heritage, or our ancestors' analytical evidence is provided in this message. The moment we turn 18, the government wants to send us to fight a war that isn't our own. Ain't that ironic? The war's at home. Why are the cops sent to control protests? Doesn't the First Amendment give us the freedom to speak? I understand it may get out of hand, but we have to fight back when we feel neglected. We speak our mind, multiple races unify, so why do government officials want to speak on poverty if they've never been put in that position? They want to interview us rather than assist communities. Thousands are homeless in the street, yet laws are in place to prevent giving them money. The preamble to the Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, ensure domestic tranquility." In other words, while the LGBTQ being attacked and feeling like someone else have their life. Immigrants from other countries trying to escape civil wars, famine, and other obscenities, yet we don't seem to symbolize peace. The moment they turn to us for reassurance, we close doors to prevent refugees from entering. If it's not one race, it's the other. Now, I ain't no dreamer, but my Latino brothers and sisters might be. But if a black man dies by the hands of the police, best believe I'm with them in the streets yelling Black Lives Matter to me. Why are Native Americans high school mascots? First they take the land and they insult them. Strange, is it not? Why do we continually have to prove our worth? I thought this was the land of the free and home of the brave, so why are we still facing discrimination? How can the color of my skin piss off an entire government? Here to represent more than just a flag. One of the things I've never had. Give more to my gente. I'm not another statistic, stand and deliver my message. Within every one of us, somos Chicanos standing in a freedom position. Nuestra sociedad, the mind of a Mexican is dangerous. What the fucked up system that needs maintenance. I'm the Latino that represents my nation. Consider this my verbal retaliation. Suppose my words do simulate your mind like a sedative. A young brown Mexican still in this beautiful struggle. This is for my people, la raza. This goes out to all my brown heroes. Blacks and browns are equal. Piensan que somos criminales. Chinga tu madre, el color de mi bandera significa guerra. This is for the immigrants who just want a better life but get criticized. And this is for my illegals who just want to be equal but can't because the government thinks we're evil. Pinches culeros, malditas serpientes. This is for everyone with a dream living in this fucked up economy where blacks and Mexicans live in poverty. We are the people. We determine our fate no matter how much hate can never contain us. We are living truth.
Give it up one more time for Hidalgo! Can we please get a round of applause for our poet? Thank you guys for coming out.
So much.
Let's hear it. Slam Club. Slam